What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your breakdown for King Kong Bundy, the walking condominium. He is in Champions finally. Actually, I don't know the last time King Kong Bundy's been in a WWE game. I know Viscera took 16 years to get from the last game he was in into this game. King Kong Bundy, it's probably been a very long time. Very highly requested by the community. Wrestled WrestleMania 2 main event against Hogan. Legends era legend. In fact, the Bundys from Married with Children were named after this guy. So, he is a striker, chaotic, Legends era. Links with the $1 Million Corporation, of course, that's awesome. And Legends era, no gear. Trainer ability, black gems do 50%, green gems start with 2. So that cycle they've been doing for a while, which has been basically a 3 out of 5 for us on our power ratings. But he's a pretty good A tier. He's got a few movesets we're going to take a look at. And in particular, well, let me put the first one up on screen here real quick. That and that. In particular, this moveset kind of makes me think they're going to do something like they just did, or actually are doing right now, because Boss Battle's going on as I'm recording this. As they did with Boss Man. So the boss for the month seems to go after the A tier character, or you go after them with the best of your stuff. So if you notice all the reversals right here, your elbow drop, deal damage, increase your blocking by P by 10. Hardcore, if the opponent's style is focused, then deal damage and increase the strength of your multiply gems by 4. So actually you would want the front power slam before that. 7 MP blue, deal damage, choose a 3x6 area to make multiply gems of strength 3. Reversal, if the opponent generated at least 1 leech gem, deal 4 million damage and steal all leech gems, then steal the opponent's turn. And finally the avalanche splash, 10 MP finisher, deal damage, make 20 random multiply gems into blue, pin the opponent, and if the opponent's class is Trickster, deal damage, increase the strength of your multiply gems by 4. So Focus Trickster is probably going to be the end of month boss, and Bundy's going to be the big character to use for that, which is cool. I hope they keep that going. That's a very neat setup. Entourage-wise, 7 MP moves, so you're going to need Lawler and Lex. For blue moves, start with 6 combined, plus your turn bonus is 7. Plus, Lex has your going to increase your strength of your multiply gems by 1, 2 if you get him to 35k. Then Rock, for multiply gems, do more damage, increase their strength by 1. If you have Seth Leonardo, I would put him there. Or actually even, I'll show you in a minute, if you would even just put one of the other multi-gem zombies. Like if you have at least Chelsea, right? Or whoever, because you'll get that 60% bonus out of it. Then you've got Zombie Gunter. Blue gems 30%, multiply gems 60%. Again, that's going to be 60 and 40 at 35k. On the strap, there's not really any plates that I can think of that I want to put on there. Of course, you can put a Royal Rumble plate on there, but you're changing all the gems. Go back. Changing all the gems to multiply into blue, right? So multi into blue is your focus. You're not really buffing the damage of your gems except for the multi-gems. So you're not really going to use the Nightmare Plate. You could throw something like a 2 words just to hit some extra stuff. But, yeah, there's just not really anything that comes to mind off the top of my head. If you can think of something, throw it in the comments section. Same for these. You're not really using blue moves a ton. You're using mostly black. So you could use, like buff a blue move, get blue gem damage type of thing. But that's really not going to be there. So really, the one that you're going to use, and I'll show it here in a second. It always hides from me, and I never can find it because I don't know, like the shape of it, or the shape of the image or something. I always feel like I'm missing it, and then I go back through and I'm like, I swear I don't have it, and then there it is. Come on, where you at? You got your Pyro Princess plate. You got your. Seriously, where is it? This plate will work, but that's super rare. I don't think too many people have that one. Really? Where's the HBK plate? I'm looking at every plate, and I swear it's there. It's just not. It's not that one. Not the Jade. There it is. Yeah, whenever you activate a blue move, you can increase your blue gem damage by 50%. That one would work. Or the Pyro Princess plate over here, if you got one. Good night. I am not finding things. It was there. I just saw it scroll by. There you go. Whenever you make 6 or more multiply gems, increase your blue gem damage. So that one I'll put on for now. Yeah, I can put on the other one here, except for I'm not going to be able to find it again. But, you know, that's really kind of it. There's not a lot for this one that's, like, super spectacular. I do love, I didn't mention this, how he's talking to you the whole time. I would be curious what he's saying, but like that's a pretty unique setup where he's just looking and talking at you and pointing. So, yeah, so we're going to go on the road here. We are going to go up against a focused character, Zombie Sammy. So that will show you a little bit of his buff, but it's not going to be Trickster, so therefore it's not going to hit the buff twice on there. Just going to show you a little bit extra pepper that he can do on this. Look how big he is. Oh my gravy train. That is a huge man right there. Woof. And see, I did this wrong. I did this very wrong. Because now, what we should have done is throw this down. This actually works out though nice, because this will show you what it is against not a focused character. So just your regular times 5s. Hit them. Turn them all blue. Bam. And then I'll show you what it's like against a focused character and do them in the right order there. So about 29 million. Not terrible, but for 6 gold, not the best. Not the best, right? All right, so let's see now what he does when it's with the focused buff. So we'll lay these down right there, connect them to some blues. Boop. Then we'll bump them up. Maybe times 9, so still not huge. And you do need every bit of your MP, so you can't really put on Sherry. You could put on Seth Leonardo, of course. But like with everything on there, 57 million, that's not terrible. I mean, for an A tier hitting about 60 million, that's pretty decent. But again, that is specifically up against a focused. Oh, that is cool. They did such a good job with this. Props to Scopely for this character. I like it. Alright, so that's one moveset. Let us check out another. So almost the same thing here. I did switch the order on these, so you do the power slam, then the elbow drop so that you buff it properly and all that. But instead of having another black move, we've got another 7 blue move. The running splash, deal damage, make the bottom 3 rows into pyro gems, which will make all gems above them into black when broken by you, then deal damage and make 21 pyro gems blue. So you got blue gem damage, black gem damage, which is his primary color, and they're going to be multis. So this is going to hit harder. You can do a couple things with the plates. You could keep this because you are going to make 21 gems blue. So I'm going to show this first. But you could also go with the crown. You could go with the, of course, the Piper Power plate. You could go with the Let Me Talk to Ya, wherever it is. Not the LA Bite, the other one. That one right there. That one right there. Whenever you break 4 or more make 4 or more pyro gems, increase your blue gem damage by 300%. But again, that's not buffing the multi. What's buffing the multi is black. So of course, again, you can use this now with every multi plate from now on into infinity and etc. So same basic setup, and then we'll change out the plates just a little bit with him. But this one is going to hit a bit harder just because he is making his primary color into multiply gems this time. So we'll throw these down. We're going to want to connect to, well, actually it really doesn't matter to be honest, because you're going to make everything above that line black anyway. So there's your 5. Here's some 9s. And now we'll throw this one, and it's kind of just automatic. That is the nice thing about this. It makes the bottom 3 rows into pyro, erases some of those. Then it makes all of them blue, which makes everything above it black. And that, at 6 gold, hits for 45 million. It's actually not quite as hard as the other moveset with this plate combination anyway. But still, 45 million on an A tier, not BAM! That's fun. I like it. I like that animation. The squash the bug. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I like it. All right. Let's change out the plates here. So instead, we've got the crown, the tiara, that is, somewhere in here. Yes, you could do this too. You can always add a Dominator's Drip when there's black moves involved. But this one, whenever you make 6 or more multiply gems, increase your black gem damage by 50%. So instead of the blue gem damage, which isn't as much, we're going for a black gem damage. Let's see, you could do this one. It's going to get you another 50%, but, you know, it won't, because it's triple blue. What am I thinking? Triple blue will not get you anything there. So, of course, then you go back to that one. The one that I would probably use would be this, because you're going to, if you can spare it. I mean, that plate is in such high demand, like absolute high demand, because at least you get 100% on your black gems that way. The Let Me Talk to You is going to buff the blue gems, but they're not what's getting the multi-gems. So, yeah. Roar. The walking condominium. That's such a phrase from a different era. Nobody even says condominium. They say condo. But still, like, it's just a fun. That is such a fun nickname for a giant of a man, right? All right, same thing, just changed out the plates from 45 million. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. There you are. Instead, we hit for 44. How did we go down? That should not have gone down. That seems off. But either way, you're looking about 45 to 50 million. His highest is still that first moveset at this point now. He's got others, though. Let's check them out as well. The last moveset we're going to check out is the Juggernaut Bleed setup. I will note this move right here, the Forearm Club, 1 MP yellow. We're not using, haven't used it yet. It's a 1.5 million damage move. Steal up to 15 black MP from each opponent, from their black moves. Now, that's his highest move damage setup, so not great, not huge, but what you could do is you could run the knee drop, or actually, I'm sorry, you could run the Forearm Club, do a 3 match with the knee drop, run this again, and then do a 5 match with the knee drop, run that again, and then finish it out with the chin lock, or, you know, whatever. And that would work. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll make another video on that one just real quick as well, or make it part of this. But it's just 1.5 million is not huge. This might be. So you've got a 7 MP back elbow smash. Deal damage, make 10 random gems into 2-turn Juggernaut gems that will deal 1,000,000 bleed to your opponent for every turn, and then an additional 1,000,000 bleed at the end of the countdown cycle. You've got the knee drop, which makes 9 gems into yellow, which is then going to load your chin lock, so you sub them down and just keep doing that until you've bled them out. On the chin lock, it is a 5 MP color submission. Choose 8 gems to make into black submission gems. Do damage for 3 turns while sub gems are on the board. Remaining turn into trap gems. If broken by your opponent, you're going to deal damage. If broken by you, you're going to deal bleed damage. And in both cases, you don't bleed 1,000,000 bleed damage. So it's just all bleed damage all the time. On the Entourage, you've got Woods for 4 black MP, and then you've got this blank spot right here. You can't see it yet. Apparently your artwork isn't loaded, but that is the new Raquel Rodriguez. moves, traps, juggernauts, all of those, all gems will cause bleed. That cause bleed will do 75% more bleed damage, which is the same ability as this guy. It'd be great if he gets a buff to 75% now. Moves, trap, gem, countdown, bleed, do 50% more bleed damage. And then Juggernaut Goldberg creates one more bleed gem. Just making sure of something here real quick. He doesn't go up to 100%, right? Nope, still 50. I was going to say, just in case that, since they added Raquel as a bleed coach, maybe he goes up as well. But yeah, and then Juggernaut, you're making 11 more, or you're making one more. If you do Kyrie instead, you would get another 40% on each of the gems. So this one is 11 gems doing 2.25 million. So 24 million bleed or so, versus if you add Kyrie in here, and I didn't think she was on anybody, but apparently she's attached somewhere. It's been a while since I used her. There she is, 40% more bleed. All right, so now you're doing 10 times 2.2 million. So it's kind of a trade-off. I think Goldberg mathematically is just a little bit higher. Whoops. What? Can I have Goldberg on here now, please, again? Okay, here, tell you what, put Viscera on there. I dare you. And now let me put Goldberg on there. Yay, it worked. Okay, so just a little bit better setup. And then you don't need a strap or anything at all because it's all bleed and sub damage. And you're not really breaking gems. So, a sub plate to make, there needs to be a bleed plate. Could we make a bleed plate, please? Bleed plate, please, against Big Papa Pump. BPP on BPP. Yeah. Still impressed with the size of Bundy. That is such a cool, just the way they did it is, I like him. I like him. What you could do, though, if you wanted to, and I'll show you in a second, is to do the yellow to black. But it's a 7MP, so you do a 5-match and a 3-match, and you're still not going to be there in the same turn, unfortunately. But could do it. All right, so what you're going to do with this is you're going to load the submission by setting up a 5-match. Boop, like that. And then that also causes the Juggernauts to go off. It should have triggered and hit him right there, though, and it did not. So let's see what happens when we put this in. Then you need this to be enough that you can get your black moves loaded again, and the remainder turn to trap gems. There we go. Hopefully he doesn't destroy all of them, but he's subbed down, and now you can see his health has dissipated. It's down to 37 million. Those went off again, so at the end of our turn, that will also hit him. So now we just do the same sort of setup. And now if you break those trap gems, you add even more bleed into the mix. So I think this is going to be our best shot right here. Nope, I was silly about that. I can take any swipe as long as I don't. Nope, that's going to cause problems. What about this one? Ha! Extra turn. There we go. And then you sub them down. I'm going to have him look at the bleed damage. It doesn't seem to be triggering as frequently as I think it should. But either way, right here, he'll be done. He will be done. All the bleeding is gone, and he's out of there. So you can see it's about a 2-cycle win against a 6-star gold, but still pretty hefty setup. So yeah, that's it for King Kong Bundy. I'm excited that he's in the game. As he sits right now without any gear, new plates, or anything like that, I would say he's not quite as good as Bossman or Dominic, Dirty Dom have been, but he's good. He's a worthwhile addition to people's rosters, and he's fun. And I love the fact that he's in the game. I love it. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Like this video, subscribe to Champions Chat, and then send this to your friend or faction mate who's going, oh, Bundy's in the game? How do I use him? Here's how. See you on the next one, friends. Bye.